I didn't know also the whole green card concept that you outlined. It sounds very complicated. You've got to persuade so many partners to come in with you, and there's the whole thing about administering that, and things are recognized at the points of sale and all the rest of it. It sounded, convinced me of that, because it sounds too complicated.
Well, the goal is to have a website, and our business is going to be through Dropboxes, in which people will write down their email and how many CDs they dropped in with the names of them, so we can award their points. Or they'll have like a slip to fill out, which has all that information, in which online we will figure out the points and award them.
Okay. Well, in answer to your question, my assessment would be no, this would not work as a not-for-profit, because I don't think that not-for-profits work because of passion. They work because your financial model is based not just upon contributed income, it's also based upon earned income as well. And I don't see the contributed income portion of a financial plan for this really stacking up, and individuals really wanting to get involved with it, because it feels too sterile to me.
Tony had the same questions that I had, Max, and that is, would people want to recycle their CDs? I think if you're going to argue that, you need to support it better, and somehow there needs to be room in the plan for that, because the reader finds himself asking, well, do I have to go on trust, okay? The other thing I was just thinking is about your concept, about the product. If music in a sense is generational, you're asking an old guy like me maybe to give up a CD, okay, to buy digital music. Now I'm attached to my CD collection, and your incentive, I like the idea of the incentive, frankly. I think it's a good idea, and in part you answered Tony, but I'm not sure if I have an incentive to change my collection, assuming I'm still keeping a CD player somewhere, or I buy a computer that can play the audio or whatever, for new digital music, you know. I don't know. Perhaps you're right, but that needs to be. Here is a problem where you're making a case, and you need, and the case is not clear cut, so you've got to back it up with information. There was no cost-benefit analysis. You just left the part of costs and what would it take to get going with the business. You talk about some boxes that cost $8.33, where that you could create, that you could put out so that people drop their CDs in it, but you avoided that, and that's an omission of the plan. I like the idea. I'm not seeing it as workable, so I need to be convinced with the numbers or with other data. Yeah.
Mark, are you convinced? Well, when I read the plan, I saw and I heard from a lot of passion for recycling. That's good. That's what we need. I didn't see a business. And I understand this might be a non-profit, but there's nothing that feels like a business here. But that's okay, you can learn that. In terms of going through this exercise and think about where it could go, my advice to you is, for something like this, it might be better to think about not just a onesie, but a suite of products that, even if it was mandated or will be mandated by some law, that people need to recycle for whatever reason, and so that what you sell or market is that you have collection and recycling or remediation services for a whole host or family of things that people need to get rid of. And then those that want to get rid of them, they get rid of them through you. You make it easy. Sort of like when you buy a new refrigerator. You got this big thing in your kitchen and you don't know how you're going to get rid of it. And you're going to pay a lot of money to get rid of it, especially if it's a Sub-Zero, speaking from experience. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is to go to, he's another alum. Northeastern has wonderful alums who have figured out not only how to do good, but to make money doing good, a lot of money. And for your business, the one that I would recommend you go look at is Alan McKim Clean Harbors, which is now approaching $1.5 billion in revenue each year, and they clean up hazardous waste in dump sites and now they're actually helping companies to manage their hazardous waste. And looking at this, Max, I'm sure every company around needs help figuring out how to recycle what's going on inside the company. I mean, in other words, if you want to work in this area, Max, and all the rest of you, it's a target-rich environment for you to develop your careers. So that's what I think about this plan.
You know, I like the idea. I think it's timely. But if I was going to get rid of my CDs, I'd probably sell them to a used record store or something. I wouldn't be ready to get rid of them. You may be ahead of the curve on that. As far as the business, I didn't follow, where the money comes from, where the money goes, and how you make money. Even if you're a nonprofit, you need money. You have to pay everybody and pay for everything. I didn't see that there. So it's a nice idea, and it may be workable. You may be ahead of the curve because people still hang on to the CDs. I still hang on to my records, so I'm maybe not a good judge on that. But at some point, maybe people would want to get rid of them. What the SBA does is we guarantee loans through banks, and we won't fund a nonprofit. And banks will have you'll have a hard time with the bank funding a nonprofit. So you
see a return on their investment, or?
Yeah, they're looking to. Most of the time, they look at cash flow. The SBA does look at cash flow for to get paid back, and just nonprofits are just something that they don't see as bankable.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.